knock down the straw man in that clip on healthy eating as a disorder, you'll find that the mainstream media always puts up the weakest arguments and says that pretty much embodies everybody, and that's what it's all about. They're going to tar everybody with these weakest examples. The straw men, the kooks. But we're going to have to leave foodworldorder.com behind and move to all the latest on cyberspacewar.com on this B-side, episode 175 from MediaMonarchy.com. My name's James Evan Pilato. I'm your host and webmaster of the site and show. MediaMonarchy.com, foodworldorder.com, and here, cyberspacewar.com. First, the story that, we've been tracking since the now year-plus-long running of Cyberspace War. But especially in recent weeks, the bill that has gotten the traction from Mr. Independent, Joe Lieberman, his cybersecurity bill keeps moving forward. So this one from Tech World: Obama Internet Kill Switch Plan approved by U.S. Senate. A U.S. Senate committee has approved a wide-ranging cybersecurity bill that some critics have suggested would give the president the authority to shut down parts of the Internet during a cyber attack. Senator Joe Lieberman and other bill sponsors have refuted the charges that the Protecting Cyberspace as a National Asset Act gives the president an internet kill switch. Instead, the bill puts limits on the power the president already has to cause the closing of any facility or stations for wire communication in a time of war, as described in the Communications Act of 1934. They said, that would be Lieberman and other bill sponsors, in a breakdown of the bill published on the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee website. The committee unanimously approved an amended version of the legislation by voice vote last Thursday, a committee spokeswoman said, and now the bill moves to the Senate floor for a vote which has not yet been scheduled. So it's been approved, and now they're going to vote on it. So much more on this story from InformationWeek.com, Senate.gov, PC Mag. You can read about the Communications Act of 1934, more from Huffington Post and Prison Planet, and our flashbacks covering this Lieberman story. But let's move to the July 1st DEF CON list of ugly headlines on cyberspacewar.com. Fight the Net, Biomet, and International Sex Station. The first from Tom Burkhart of Anti-Fascist Calling: the secret state's mad scheme to control the net, which goes along with the story we just went over. Furthermore, from executivegov.com, comprehensive cyber legislation approved. Now, this isn't the Patriot Act that we've referred to, but again, this is just greasing the skids. This is setting the precedent. And again, they're already saying, well, the president puppet before the current president puppet has already taken all kinds of unconstitutional powers unto himself. Obama still already has those. That's why Lieberman and these guys can say, oh, just calm down. It doesn't give them any great new powers. It just codifies and solidifies the insane ones they already have. Windows 8 features such as biometrics revealed in leaked Microsoft documents. Now, this story kind of buried that lead that it's got facial recognition software in there. But more on that from Huffington Post. White Hat uses Foursquare privacy hole to capture 875,000 check-ins. You may recall several weeks ago, maybe even a few months ago, we went over this Foursquare phenomenon where people play a game and you check in online and you see where people are. But we've covered the holes and the flaws in this platform, both covert and overt. We went over the site called pleaserobme.com that goes over showing when people are obviously far away from their homes and blabbing about it. This latest captures Like we said, 875,000 check-ins. White hat meaning I'm doing this bad thing in a good way to show you the flaws in your security. When we talk about drills and false flag terror, or in this case, maybe virtual flag terror, these drills and the private military contractors and the patsies and the moles and the mercenaries, sometimes drills go live, sometimes the red team gets through, sometimes the black hats win. An interesting one from a site I just got turned on to from my man Zach, technocult.net. Like techno, occult. Impediments to a post-scarcity future, much too weighty a topic to get into right here and now. Obama space plan under continuous assault. And lastly, NASA commander says sex is banned aboard the International Space Station. But the latest from Paul Joseph Watson on the latest in the ongoing attacks to internet freedoms and the very things that let me do what I'm doing right now and try and give open source intelligence to folks out there as we're all learning and figuring all this out. Cybersecurity measures would mandate government ID tokens to use the net. The move to shut down and regulate the net under a new government-controlled system has accelerated into high gear with the announcement that the government's cybersecurity strategy revolves around issuing internet users with ID tokens without which they will not be able to visit websites. This latest salvo against web freedom, which, in combination with Senator Joe Lieberman's kill switch bill, will serve to eviscerate the free net as we know it. Under the guise of cybersecurity, the government is moving to discredit and shut down the existing internet infrastructure in pursuit of a new, centralized, regulated World Wide Web. This exact story was outlined in a paper published by Obama's cybersecurity coordinator, Microsoft Bush crony Howard Schmidt, which was compiled with the aid of the National Security Council. We went over that last week, basically a driver's license for the internet. This strategy that we're referring to, ID tokens, revolves around, quote, the creation of a system for identity management that would allow citizens to use additional authentication techniques such as physical tokens or modules on mobile phones to verify who they are before buying things online or accessing such sensitive information as health or banking records, reports the mouthpiece to the and their cronies, the Financial Times. Only with this government-issued token will internet users be allowed to move from website to website, a system not too far removed from what China proposed and rejected for being too authoritarian, which you'll recall in the clip we played last week. Joe Lieberman saying, China has strict controls like this. I think we need that here. But lastly, salaciously, internet porn to get its own red light district as .xxx name approved. This from The Guardian. The internet could soon have its own red light district after the .xxx suffix was approved, though pornography companies are not keen to use it. ICANN, the organization which determines what top-level domains, such as .com or .uk, can be added to the internet, announced that it will begin the process of registering .xxx by making checks on ICM Registry, the company that now wants to run the domain and sell the registrations. ICANN stands for the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. And we're going to get to, in just a moment, appropriately enough, a couple of clips. We're going to interview, well, there's a clip with an interview of internet entrepreneur Stuart Lawley, who's the head of ICM Registry. And we also have a clip from my new friends on youtube.com/Media Monarchy, and that's youtube.com/Naked News Headlines, where they announce ICANN announcing the .xxx domain names appropriately enough.